Good morning, Patriot fam. I have a question for all of you.
Yes,
Have you
ma'am.
ever have you so I've been doing a little bit of research about women and in the mornings and how we're
Oh,
supposed to have 20 grams of protein in the morning. And if you add it with your coffee, it gives you a little bit more energy. But if you just drink coffee first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, your cortisol levels spike. So I made a
call me out.
protein shake. But,
What?
um,
Okay.
so I made a protein shake and it's like got 22 grams of protein. I put oatmeal in it and it's delicious because I mixed it with my coffee and my creamer.
Okay.
However, I added ice cubes instead of mixing it with the ice, and now it's
Mm.
it's stuck and I can't drink it.
It's stuck. Are you fighting? Am I going to see the vein in your forehead pop out? Like adding oatmeal. That's a great idea. Like I would like that cinnamon apple oatmeal.
That's right. I added cinnamon. I always add cinnamon to my drink. So whether it's coffee or
Ooh,
tea or because cinnamon is just really good for the blood, it's good for your system, and it
yeah.
smells amazing. So I always add cinnamon, but like now, like it's stuck. Like I can't
Like
drink
concrete in
it.
her straw.
I'm so mad about it.
It's congested like I-4 in the middle of Orlando. I'm telling
Oh
you
my gosh,
what.
because everybody keeps moving here. Stay away from Florida. We're full. I fully support building a wall.
Oh, I love you, Aly. Guys, thank you for joining us this Monday morning. If you're not already, make sure you follow at Real Aly Lejay, at Michelle Posey, and at Open Mic Ladies on all platforms. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe so you get those notifications when we're about to go live, because you never know where we might be next. We've just had just a lot of travel, and you've been literally everywhere, and
Yeah.
we've been everywhere. Yes. So Saturday, we'll do this before we do the intro, because I feel like you're like our family out there. By Saturday, I had all these plans. I had all these wonderful plans. And Saturday night rolled around and I was like, but I would have to get dressed. And I kind of want to stay in my PJs. So I did. Brie and I ordered pizza and just kind of locked it in. And it was fun. I don't know. Sometimes you just need to recharge.
Oh my gosh, your Saturday, my Saturday. Lord have
Lord
mercy.
have mercy. As she looks away from the camera.
It's a lot. It's been a lot this week.
It has, and we're going to talk about that and so much more, guys. So lock it here. Make sure you buckle in, and let's go ahead and open the mic.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, you gon' ride with us? Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor of Maggie,ville, the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
What do you do when they come for you? Freedom's what you gotta lose. Red hat stays
What do you do when your tech producer sends you scripture because she knows?
But
She knows. In the middle
I'm
of the
like,
show,
I'm
'cause
trying not to read it because I'm gonna cry, and I am not crying on air. We're not doing that.
again,
That's the law.
wait, it's not that show. Okay.
Wrong show, guys. Wrong show. Maybe we'll cry. I mean, we do. We have
We love
had
you.
some
Thank you,
tears
Krista.
on open mic. I mean, you know.
Well, we definitely make the left cry, but that's a part of it. Guys, we are so grateful that you joined us. Hopefully you've enjoyed our shows on the road. It's always interesting to see how we're going to handle production, because we're just girls.
I don't know. I think we've gotten a lot of really great like interactions. I was not able to do a TikTok this morning. I didn't have it in me today. I'm sorry,
It's
y'all.
okay. It's okay. We love you, Aly. We love
Love
you. I
y'all.
want to go ahead and start off by just breaking in our viewership to, if you didn't tune in Friday, to the wonderful show that we had with Marty Irby. Thank God for him and what he does, and Aly, your connection with him, and really just the way you two, and everybody that flew in over the course of that week. Everybody worked together so wonderfully. But I want to take a look quickly at this little clip. This will tell you a little bit of what Aly and I were doing in D.C. last week. You'll hear from Marty Irby himself. Take a look.
But when you go to the store and you buy a steak, you're probably not buying American beef. You're probably buying beef that was raised in Brazil, some South American country, maybe even potentially Canada. And the labels are just not there because of the repeal of country of origin labeling. And what we saw when that happened a decade or so ago is the cattle markets fell and dropped, because then they could ship in all of that beef that could be guised as U.S. beef and sold to the consumer. Basically, it's a flat out lie at the end of the day.
Right.
And it was labeled in many instances product of the USA, even if the cow was raised, slaughtered, and the steak was cut in Argentina or Brazil. As long as it was packaged on the styrofoam tray with plastic, it was considered a product of the USA.
We could bring it back, Krista.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so that's just a little portion of what we were doing there, obviously vying for as consumers, right, as moms. But we had ranchers and producers that were a part of our group there, meeting with how many representatives would you say at the end of the day?
I think we met about 50 reps, and we even met with the USDA and DOJ.
And DOJ.
So,
and DOJ.
It was very productive, and you'll get to it, but it was productive.
And I felt like it didn't fall on deaf ears. You know, I feel like everybody, we got caught in both Democrat and Republican meetings, which was interesting because I think that's the label and the warning that I would like in the future. Skywritten, like, maybe zip it, Michelle. We did a good job, though, didn't we?
No, I mean, not zip it. You did a great job being in there. I mean, when we get our packets, they label like who the representative's office is. A lot of times it's like, but it's tiny, so it's like R or D. But you gear the conversation accordingly, right? Like, you don't want to go in there pitchfork, and you don't want to be like, well, this is, we're in this position because you're, you know what I mean? But we handled it pretty well. And there were some situations where you're in the room and you're looking at me like, did you really just say that? Are you for real?
I'm kicking Aly under the table.
Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny the way that we would communicate. Like, you're sitting next to me and you're like tapping my leg or like poking me. And I'm like, stop. It was so funny. Oh my gosh, because I'm trying not to laugh. We're like the two kids that can't sit in the same classroom together. Like, they put you in the front and me in the back, or like what, on opposite sides of the classroom.
Like, that's going to make us behave?
It's not. It totally doesn't. It doesn't.
Totally doesn't.
We were a good duo. Everybody, according to Marty, was like, we have to bring you girls back because everybody wants to talk to y'all.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I think part of that is, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And so you have to kind of sit there, at least for me, this was my first trip doing this. I know you've done this before with Marty, but sitting kind of quietly for the first couple meetings, really trying to take in what are the different aspects of like how this is affecting people. We need to make sure that our meat in this country is what they say it is. If it's a product of the U.S., I mean, born and raised here in the U.S., it's not like our open immigration system we had under Biden.
But it has been for 10 years. You're like, whoa.
It's very crazy. But listen, so some in our group actually got a meeting, like you just alluded to, with the Department of Justice, talking about some of these packers and just some of the corruption going on there. And then you shared this with me, Aly. Let's put this up on the screen. It wasn't long after that meeting, Donald Trump posted this. He said he asked the DOJ to immediately begin an investigation into the meat packing companies who are driving up the price of beef through illicit collusion, price fixing, and price manipulation. Aly.
Yep. That means it worked.
Aly, what? It worked.
It means it worked. It means what we have been doing for the last 2 years up on the Hill, advocating against the EATS Act, now called the Save Our Bacon Act, has been working. All of those meetings, all of the exhaustion, all of it's worked. Public pressure works, you guys. It does. It works. And when you hear from the people, and because it's almost like, so Marty told me we were doing like our debrief, and he says, everybody up in Congress is so tired of seeing the ranchers, right? Because you have big ag that comes, and then you have the small
big ag. Yeah.
And then he said, but when we changed the game when we brought moms. So when our moms walk the halls of Congress, they're like, oh shit, the moms are here. I don't want them in my office. I don't want them to call my office. I don't want to anger the moms. It's important that they get the consumer part and the mom view effectively. It's what it is. It's the mom perspective.
Absolutely.
because everything is a mom issue. Everything touches the kitchen table. Faith, family, food, finance, freedom, education. Everything
Yes.
touches a kitchen table for a parent.
Right.
And it's the federal government, it's your local government, which is why we're always telling you to get involved, especially now. Like, if you support our veterans, and I said this on a national syndicate yesterday. I was actually on the news yesterday. I was on Newsmax, and I was like, listen, if you support our veterans, what have you done to actually support our veterans? Are you making phone
Yes.
calls? Do you know who's running in your backyard? Do you know what laws
Absolutely,
are
Aly.
coming out? Do you have a relationship with your congressman or your state representative or your city councilman or your school board member? That is how we save this country. Our government works if
Absolutely.
we work it.
And are you advocating, especially on the heels of Veterans Day tomorrow, are you advocating for better health care and better treatment and more opportunities in their treatment? These people, our veterans, should be at the front of the line, as
Yep.
far as I'm concerned.
Did
They're
you know
largely,
that? Did you know that there are some military families that are on SNAP because they live below the poverty line? That's how little they get paid. Did you also know that 1 in 3 military families have less than $3,000 in their bank account, in their savings? That is incredibly
wow.
wild. Like, and we were being used as leverage
Pawns.
for this
Absolutely. And
shutdown.
they've
It's
admitted
so
that
scary.
with the shutdown. Well, Aly, courtesy of the shutdown, we had some flight delays trying to get back home. And I don't know if it was delirium. I don't know if it was exhaustion, if it was just feeling good, because we really did feel like we made a difference. But if you guys aren't following Open Mic Ladies on social media, well, you just don't know what you're missing. Get out there and follow us. But for those of you that maybe don't have access to social media, we'd like to show you a little bit of how we killed time in the airport. Go ahead and roll it.
The Lord is playing Boot Scoop Boogie. I'm not ready. Right foot, right? Ay, loca. Are you okay? Okay. Wow. Cross the. Wow. Are you ready?
All right. Bye.
Hold up.
Just snap it. Listen here, Linda.
It's Karen. I'm so sorry that we have to share a plane with all of you.
I'm
I
not.
apologize now, but we will be asleep in 5 minutes.
I mean, it was, but we did learn 2 or 3 line dances, right?
Yes, it was so much fun.
And
It
I
was
think
so much fun.
people from down the hall and the other gates were videoing us, and we're like, so we're just.
I mean,
here
they
for
were
the entertainment.
smiling. Like, we put smiles on people's faces because we just could not help it. It did, like, we just can't help but be that way when we're around each other. It is so funny. I think I watched that video like 8 times. Like 800 times. I can't stop
Did you
watching
see-
it. It's so funny.
Did you see Nurse Laura?
No, what'd she say?
No, because I
Oh.
snapped my fingers. She goes, the snap, and then she puts like skull and crossbones, like, whoa. Michelle, tread lightly there. It's really cute.
It reminded me when you were like, "I'm so sorry, we have to share a plane with you guys. We'll be asleep in 5 minutes." It reminded me of Selena, where she's like, "I have to step over all of the low people to get here." It was hilarious.
Oh, the little people I had to step
little
on to get
people-
here.
Right. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I'm like, "Oh, we're
But-
little Selenas."
And we did sleep. I mean, on the flight home, we finally got home. So it
Not
was-
really.
it
We
was-
were both awake because I remember like tapping you behind me. It was like, look at this.
You were in front of me, so then we couldn't sit together. Like, again, you think that's going to stop us?
So
American
rude.
Airlines? No, it's not.
It was so
It's
bad.
tugging at her hair.
It was, oh my gosh, it was hilarious. We're just a mess.
Just
But it's
a
fun.
mess.
It's fun to travel with your best friend and your sister in Christ and someone that you enjoy working with that
Aw.
just gets you. And I hate, and I remember, so I had an event I had to go to. I had a couple events I had to go to this
Yes.
weekend. And I'm texting her like, I wish you were with me.
I'm at the press conference Friday, like, it's not the same without you. What if I get kicked out alone?
Right.
Oh, but sometimes we got to divide and conquer. Aly, after everything we've been through together and all the things, life, that could be a whole nother segment. But it's just, I'd rather have you going through it with me. It's just,
Yes.
You're somebody special. Okay, so we'll put the tissue down. All right,
Okay,
but
okay.
just as much as we had to get our act together, so did the federal government. Guys, grab your seats. CNN just said the quiet part aloud as they're admitting now, because the government shutdown has ended. We have 8 Democrat senators that have joined the 52 Republicans to equal 60, which is what we need to pass this. Take a listen to how CNN covered it.
We've got plenty more on the other side. We will talk much more about this. Again, you're looking live at the Senate floor as the Democratic filibuster has been broken. We have so far reached 60. We're waiting for the official count. But right now, 60 votes that would unlock moving forward with this plan to reopen the government on the Senate side. A quick break. More on the other side.
She called it the Democratic filibuster.
Did you hear that?
So they own it.
They own it. Good. I'm glad they own it. Moving forward, I hope everybody has woken up to the fact that the Democrat Party does not care about you. They don't love you. They don't support you. They support them and the power that they have been given by the governed. And you have to remember that we give permission to be governed. And if you give your permission to be governed by tyrants, you will live under tyranny. And that's exactly what we're seeing. But this is a procedural vote. This is not an actual vote to open the government or to fund it. This is a procedural vote to put that on the floor for a vote.
Which likely the same 8. Yeah, the same 8 from what I'm reading will likely hold that same vote. But this is the issue, Aly, is that they're only kicking the can down the alley till next month, because there are portions of this CR that they're freezing until they've agreed until December. They want to take up the Obamacare subsidies again in December, which in my mind is like right before Christmas. And it's like, you're going to mess. I know, but you're going to mess with the American people who work so hard and so tirelessly. We get largely 2 vacations, most people. A couple days around Thanksgiving and a couple days around Christmas. And like, we're not even going to be able to, you can't even do your job enough for us to enjoy those. We have to be, like you mentioned, our veterans. I mean, they're going to have to worry about what that looks like. Yeah.
Right. Mind you, Congress is still getting paid with your tax dollars. We're still funding the Taliban with your tax dollars. We're still putting money overseas with your tax dollars. But you can't go to the grocery store and buy food or presents for your family for Christmas. TSA is working without pay. They're sitting there going hungry because they don't have a paycheck. They're tired because they're working around the clock trying to get people in and out of the air on the air traffic.
While your loved ones are in the skies trying to get to you during the holidays. Like, how does that make you feel? Well, and Aly, so these are, I want to make sure our viewers see, these are the 8 senators that sided with Republicans in order to pass this I guess you could say a change to do away with the filibuster. Some of these really shocked me because I saw Dick Durbin in there and I'm like, really? From Illinois? Okay. Let me read them to you here. You've got Dick Durbin, Jay Rosen, John Fetterman, which it's not really a surprise, Catherine Cortez. And then you've got Janine Shaheen, Maggie Hassan, and Tim Kaine. Is that Tampon Tim?
No.
That's Tampon Tim. That's a different one. Sorry, my bad.
That's Tim Walz, governor from Minnesota. But no,
too many Tims.
So this, I think, honestly, this is a result of just public pressure.
Yeah.
When we say for you to call your representatives, we really mean that. And I honestly felt like TSA should have like Homeland Security. I put this
on lobby.
I was so mad. I had so many misspelled words on it. I was so pissed off. But I think TSA and Homeland Security should have a commercial playing on every single screen in the airport. Flight delayed, missing your loved ones, been in the airport for hours, flight canceled for the 3rd time. Well, did you know that the Senate needs 60 votes in order to pass, in order to fund TSA and FAA, in order for you to get to where you need to go? Make sure you call the Senate hotline and just have it on replay, and give facts. Like, this is what the clean resolution is. This is what this is. This is why we need to fund it. And they voted 14 times to not fund TSA and FAA.
Oh, I love that, Aly. I love that. You know why that's so genius, Aly? Because what did we hear time and time again as we were in these representatives' offices talking to their aides? That the real message, because farmers get it, producers get it, the industry gets it, I'm sure TSA and FAA get it, but who doesn't get the message really is consumers. We don't know what we don't know. And that is the large lift, I think, that I'm just going to say it, Aly, sometimes people like you and I are tasked with, is it seems like you have to work 3 times as hard. The reason that you have to work 3 times as hard is because you have to try to understand it. And largely, if it's written in language that's mostly for attorneys and lawyer jargon, then how am I supposed to understand it? So I have to understand it. Then we have to work to get the message out. And that's very difficult.
It is. It's difficult. But that's what makes you and I so unique, especially when you have someone that has never been in politics before I ran for school board. I mean, I just was in it on a research level. I wasn't in it on a forward-facing activist level. But when I ran for school board, I earned about 85,000 votes, and 15,000 of those were Democrat and independent. Yeah. Because I could understand, I was able to understand what the issue was. I was able to break it down and give it on the kitchen table level so that people understood it. And that's what we did when we were in Congress, when we go to lobby. That's what we do when we go up to Tallahassee. We break down these laws. We explain it to our your constituents, our constituents, the people that we know in our circle of influence. And then we play telephone.
Well, and part of what we're figuring out, thank God for Patriot TV and for other platforms like it, is that being able to then take, and this is part of what I loved we were able to couple with Marty and his group, is to be able to take that message and immediately get that information out, because then you start to ramp up this pressure that's even beyond you. I don't know if you saw, for example, that clip that we showed at the beginning of our show. The tens of thousands of not only likes, the shares and the comments. People are saying, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know this. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this." That's right at the beginning of when you can start to feel the impact being made. And largely, going back to kind of our pre-show, Aly, I think that's when the enemy tries to hit you the most, because you are over the target and you're making those gains, and the expansion of tents is happening and it's not comfortable. And then on top of it, sometimes, we know in the circles that we run in, sometimes some of what you do is largely thankless.
And it's
oh my gosh.
It's criticized and it's nitpicked at and it's poked and prodded and it's pulled apart and it's investigated, and it's frustrating because we have results of what we do. And so it's hard when you have to fight the left and you have to fight the establishment right, but then you also have to fight those that don't really understand what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like we're constantly in this battle, and it's exhausting. And I think we go through this almost every year. Like, I was literally on the phone with a few of my friends. We do this literally every November. We're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm done being political. Oh, wait, I read that one article. Darn it, now I got to give it. Yeah,
I know, right? It's just like, ugh.
But honestly, and I'm sure our viewers can understand this too, when you feel like putting down the fight, you find a new fight.
Yeah.
And I used to find that all the time, and it's kind of like
a love-hate relationship.
It's like the Lord keeps going, get back in there, get back in, dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and get back in the dang fight.
It reminds me of I can't remember who he told this to, but he's like, just this journey is long and treacherous for you. Just sit down, rest, and eat. And that's what I heard last night. And I was like, but Lord, I don't want to sit down and eat. Like, I don't want to. And he's like, I get it, but I gave you a calling, and this is what you're supposed to do. So just I got it. And I'm like,
amazing,
all right.
Aly. And some of us, I think, in this movement are drawing our strength from the way we see our commander-in-chief work so tirelessly. The White House posted this. Part of the holdup with the continuing resolution is obviously that the Democrats want to be able to fund illegal immigrants for health care and the Obamacare subsidies, which really the Obamacare subsidies have largely just gone directly to the insurance companies. The insurance companies are making a killing off of this, literally. So Trump, in his old troll, I'm gonna checkmate fashion, take a look at this as he posts this, and of course it's written very, very small, so forgive me, but he says, I'm recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better health care and have money left over. In other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate per dollar spent the worst health care anywhere in the world, Obamacare. Unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster, which obviously happened. But
I love this. I love this because he is a man who understands sovereignty. When you have big government, when you have big agriculture, when you have big education, big insurance companies, big this, big that, they're the ones that are lobbying our Senate and our House
with
Republicans. Right. And they do it so well. Listen, they do it very, very well. Very well. And that's how they're able to kind of squash out the little guy, the independents, the ones that are actually doing things to benefit the American people, not benefit their pockets. And money is freedom. When you have financial freedom, you really do have freedom. And I think President Trump definitely understands this. And so why wouldn't you want to support that?
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be hard for the Democrat Party and their platform that's been hijacked by the extreme left they claim to be the party of those that are less fortunate, those that are struggling, minorities, if you will. It's hard for them. How are they going to combat a message like that says, you know who can spend money the best? The American people. Give it back to them. Let them decide. That makes it very difficult. Now the Democrat Party under Obama now become the party that forced you through big government for a mandate to get health care and didn't even give you an option.
Yeah, it's universal health care. It's socialism.
They are the party of mandates. Oh my gosh.
It's socialism. It's socialism and communism, and we know it doesn't work. We're seeing it play out right here on the Democrat platform.
Democrat. Can we get swag Democrat platform?
That was a Freudian slip.
That was not a Freudian slip. That was prophecy. Well, it didn't stop there with the amazing messaging from the White House and Donald J. Trump. Take a look at this, what he had to say about voter ID. He says, how easy should voter ID be to get from the radical left Democrats? There should be nothing easier. Well, out of 47 Democrats, we don't have one vote from them. That is the reason and the only reason they want to cheat. They're a bunch of scoundrels, cheaters, and psychopaths. Terminate the filibuster and take our country back. Approve voter ID. Make America great again. Wow.
Right. So that is what essentially a lot of folks were saying, is that if we terminate the filibuster, which there's both sides to this, and I can see both sides, because I've been talking to quite some knowledgeable folks over the last couple of days about this, because I was really concerned. Like, but I really want to know why you support it, the filibuster, why you support terminating it. I want to know both sides so that I can make my own decision. So the reason why some people are supporting ending the filibuster for good is because, or for now, like however long President Trump is in office, is to hurry up and codify all of his executive orders. That means we get voter ID. That means we get border protection secured. We get a lot of the things that we have fought for and mandated in November, that we actually get to codify into law with this filibuster. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, because we don't have 60 votes on the Republican side.
Right.
Until at least we win the midterms. But it doesn't look like that might happen, because the GOP does not have a ground game. And that's something that is very concerning.
Very concerning.
And they need to put the right people in place to build the ground game. But they won't do that because they want all the power and all the access. And that's frustrating. But the reason why they want to keep the filibuster is because if Democrats regain power or more people in the House or the Senate, they'll just ram through whatever they want because they'll have the votes.
Right. Aly, you touched on something that I think we witnessed as we were in D.C., the frustration of seeing how the New York mayoral race went, to see how New Jersey, the governorship, and Virginia, the governorship, how those races went. And part of me, wants to be cautious, because I don't want to get in a deeper hole of apathy where we're just like, oh, what's the point? Because there's always a point. And if our founding fathers, every time they came up against a redcoat, went, oh, what's the point?
What's the point? Right.
We wouldn't be sitting in a free nation today. But so I keep that aside. We're not talking about that kind of apathy, but it does make you frustrated, make us frustrated. It should make you at home frustrated, because what should be happening under amazing leadership in the Republican Party, not just national, but in every state across the country, what should be happening is there should be a passing of the ball, so to speak.
Yes.
Like, how many of you guys who played sports, right, basketball, you're always told as a team, pass the ball. You don't take every shot. Sometimes they've got a better look. They've got a better look. A great leader knows when to pass the ball. They should be passing the baton to Turning Point. They should be passing the baton to the walkaway movement. They should be passing the baton.
Action.
Absolutely. To open to us. Instead, you know, we here in Florida are being locked out. Aly and I are being locked out of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Like, make it make sense. We're all here to help. And so,
or being locked out of other specific things that can help actually move the needle and increase fellowship and increase activation and increase a movement where we're actually pushing and moving the needle, because you have specific people, because we still do live in a country where it's like, well, I don't see somebody like me that's doing it, so I don't even know if I can do it. That is the mentality that Democrats have built within this system. So when you actually have people that look like other people that are in the position that we're in, which is why the lady from she's a bodybuilder, I think, or I think she was like a professional sports, I don't know what she was, but she ended up getting removed from Planet Fitness because there was a man in her bathroom, and she was like, absolutely effing not. I'm not doing this. Like, it's unsafe. It is unsafe for women to have men in their bathrooms. Like, what? Where does that compute? Like, I don't understand how there's a malfunction there. And
there's no amount of eyeliner.
Woman. Yeah, and she's like, listen, it's not black or white. It's not red or blue. This is a pink or blue. This is a pink and blue issue. This is a women's safety issue. This is a women's suffrage issue. Like, get off of your best intentions and your fallacies and actually open your mind and think about truth. And so when you have people like that that are willing to step into the fray, it's important that you elevate them. You support them. It's not that they're going to take away from what you've already built. They're adding value to it, and that's the point.
And you're not going to agree with them on everything. I'll tell you, when I was at the press conference that we aired on Friday in Orlando, the Republican Party of Florida's quarterly meeting, giving the voice to people who, like ourselves, who have been kicked out of the Republican Party, and why, and just asking the questions why. Somebody came out, Aly, and I walked over to him, and because I knew he was, he was dressed nice, and I knew he was probably coming from the event, and he said, "Are you with them?" And I said, "I'm covering it." And he said, yeah, these guys are just a bunch of troublemakers everywhere they go. And I said, so I introduced myself, and I won't give his name, but I introduced myself, and I said, I was kicked out of the party. I've got the same story they do. And he said, what? You? Why? And I said, do you see what I mean? Like, you're inside that building, largely casting stones at these people who are airing their grievances because nobody will listen. And you think I'm just this pleasant little peach, but I have the same story. A, you don't know me, but B, you could see it. You could see the puzzled look on his face, because then that loops me into a group that he's supposed to hate, but he doesn't hate because it kind of makes sense. And now he's asking the same question, and he kind of walked off like puzzled. And it's like, yeah, let's start asking some of those questions. And Aly, not to go too far on a tangent, but one of the things that we ended that press conference with, I did speak for a little bit, and I said, listen, I want to know from the gubernatorial candidates, Byron Donalds, Paul Renner, and I think Jay Collins, who's going to be throwing his hat in the ring soon. Is this the leadership of an RPOF that you want to work under, that you want to link hands with? Do you want to link arms with this? What will it look like under your leadership as governor? Will you choose to work with somebody that's a little more big umbrellaed? It'll be interesting to see what they choose to do as we get closer and closer to the 2026 election. But it's hard not to lose hope.
Yeah, and it is hard, and it's hard to feel like you're not being heard when you have people like that are in the room that are being told one thing but won't look further than what they're told.
Yes.
That is how we ended up here, you guys.
Amen, Aly.
Gatekeepers who refuse to ask questions. This is why we have people that serve in office for 30 years that don't do shit for the American people, because you vote for them over and over and over and over again because you don't want to ruffle feathers. This is how we will lose the republic. Stop being nice. It is not disrespectful to ask a sitting representative who works for you to explain themselves when they are in office and vote certain ways.
Absolutely,
If they
Aly.
feel that it is disrespectful, they're in the wrong job.
Yes, you're not above reproach, definitely. And that's why Benjamin Franklin said, if you can keep it, because obviously there's the potential not to. But we're not the only ones that feel this. This is another post that Donald Trump posted because the G20 summit, which is obviously the 20 powerhouses across the globe getting together, he said, he just put the world on notice saying, America, we will not join the G20 summit held in South Africa since they are killing Christians. Save Christians at all costs. This is huge, you guys. Yeah. This is huge to have. And we've seen it over and over, Aly, how President Trump controls the temperature in the room.
Yes, he does.
He has the hands to the thermostat every single time. Yep. And that's what true leadership does. That's why people sometimes don't like him, because he's...
And don't you dare touch it.
Don't you dare touch it. Mama's got that on lock. Let me just tell you, don't touch that thermostat unless Mom touches it. So we'll see what happens because, America, without having the big dog in the room, but it's good on him for saying something. We took in refugees from South Africa. Everybody, there were people that tried to make it a race thing because a lot of them were white skinned, but they were still South Africans who are being slaughtered. Their farms are being burned. They're being tortured at all costs, really. And it's a genocide of Christians is what it is in South Africa. And he's like, I'm not taking all of our dignitaries there and spending money in South Africa. Look what they're doing to Christians. And it's about time we have a leader in this country that stands up for Christians.
Good stuff.
Well, he got a little bit of momentum through the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. They ruled, get this, what we told you 4 weeks ago, the National Guard troops can be in Portland, Oregon. Take a listen.
Doing some breaking news that we want to bring to you coming out of Oregon, where a panel of judges at the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has ruled that the Trump administration can deploy Oregon National Guard troops to Portland.
Duh.
Democrats wasting time and tax money trying to, it's a 10th Amendment thing, y'all. Just get yourself a little pocket constitution. 99 cents on Amazon. Free delivery.
I don't like you had St. Paul who's like, it's not being undocumented isn't a crime. And like we have friends of ours that are literally posting the law. Like it
literally is, yeah.
Under US code.
Tell us our school systems haven't failed us in some way, shape, or form, even higher education.
Like, guys, tell me, how are you a sitting representative and don't understand? Like, I don't. What are you there for?
Absolutely. Aly, we've got so much more to cover, including Trump's visit to Sunday Night Football was pretty epic. We've got that and so much more when Open Mic Ladies continues right after this.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OpenMic for 10% off your order.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
Stays on
right, welcome back to Open Mic with Aly and Michelle. Aly, so we paid a visit to some people that weren't in their office. I'm not going to say it worked because she wasn't there, but somebody is on her way out. She is finally retiring. Let's take a look at this video. Nancy Pelosi's retiring. I wonder how much money she's going to lose because she won't be able to insider trade. Take a look.
Pelosi reportedly raking in more than $130 million in profits from trading stocks during her 37 years in Congress. That's according to a new report by the New York Post. The former House Speaker saw a whopping return of nearly 17,000% while in office, outperforming the Dow.
Okay, bring it back, bring it back. How do you outperform the Dow?
Definitely insider trading. Like that, I mean, that's that, it has to be that. Like,
where's Martha Stewart? Why isn't she
5
like...
years ago, like she served 5 years.
I know. That's what's made her friends with Snoop, because she's got a record now.
So didn't we just learn too that like her husband took out like a PPP loan for like over $1 million, and
COVID money.
It was all forgiven. I tagged Joe Harding. He's a House rep.
Good.
And I'm like, bro, he paid his PPP loan. He paid it back before the lawsuit even started, and he ended up serving time. Like,
and that's a state rep. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
I remember that. We did an interview with him. Well, Aly, we tried to hunt down Nancy Pelosi because, you know, we were just going to ask her a few questions. Take a look. Take a look at this. She wasn't there, largely. She was probably planning her retirement party and probably planning how she's going to spend the $133 million in profits that she's made. There's probably more there, just going to say, off of your tax dollars. So this is why people go into the swamp and they don't ever leave, because it's the biggest money-making. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's public service. It's supposed to cost you something to serve. It's just crazy.
I don't believe the insider trading thing. I don't.
And you need to buckle up because more and more is coming out. This is the age that we entered into with the Trump administration. So I hope you have thick skin that you can actually brace yourself for the next 4 years, because even General Michael Flynn took to social media and said, if it looks like a coup and sounds like a coup and feels like a coup, guess what? It's a coup. It's a coup. Achoo. It is. Take a look at this. There's a timeline, apparently, of government and USAID community actions that say that the State Department basically led. It's the State Department, the United States State Department under the Biden administration really led a color revolution right here in this country with your tax dollars. We've said it before. Take a look.
A quick recap of what is that timeline. So for the U.S. Agency for International Development, just to put it into scope and scale, it has been around for more than 60 years. It has had bipartisan support, strong bipartisan support. It has had earmarks in every budget. So this was a well-established agency of some 10 to 14,000 staff, $40 billion in procurement every year. We had all read Project 2025. We were somewhat prepared for this administration, and in other ways not prepared at all. So ahead of the inauguration, some groups, such as our Office of Transition Initiatives, which works specifically in countries and places that are transitioning from perhaps authoritarian governments or wartime into more peaceful and structured, hopefully democratic governments. OTI has been a major player, so they pre-organized because, as Danielle said, they had organized during the previous Trump administration to respond to threats to our U.S. democracy. Also terribly organized, that I'm proud about, is our Gender and Sexual Minorities Employee Resource Group.
Okay, we can bring it back, Krista. That is listen, when you have Zoom calls, don't say anything that you don't want out in the public, because people hack those all the time. This is an actual phone call congratulating them for stirring up crap in our country because of the Trump win in his election. Go ahead, Aly.
I don't even know what to say. I really don't. They're,
Yep. Through USAID.
Get involved. That's all I have to say. Get involved. Get involved locally. It's going to cost you something to move this country and rebuild it in our own image, in the image that is best for Americans. It's going to cost all of us something.
Absolutely.
And if we don't, Lord help us.
Well, Aly, and it doesn't end there, because obviously we said that we would not forget about January 6th and all of the propaganda out there, largely at the hands of mainstream media that have pushed a narrative. Social media jumped on board and muted our president at the time. And I want everybody to understand this is, there is a short video. We're only going to play just a few seconds of it. This is what they're saying now about that J6 pipe bomber. Remember, Aly, there was somebody had left a pipe bomb, steps from the Capitol, and we just couldn't find out any information.
Figure out who it is.
I mean, you know, try not paying your taxes for a couple of years. They'll find out who you are in a
Not
heartbeat
even
and where
that,
you
but
live.
we have like unedited, super clear photos of like things in the freaking sky 8 billion light years away from here, but we can't figure out who this pipe bomber is with the cameras we currently have. Y'all are tripping.
Well, take a look. Glenn Beck, courtesy of Blaze TV, had this to say. Take a listen.
I think it is the biggest scandal of my lifetime. There is a major development in the January 6th pipe bomber investigation. Blaze News has the exclusive. Its lead suspect is at the highest levels of government. And Steve joins me now. How long have you been working on this story?
I've been pulling the threads on this for exactly 4 years.
If anybody ever wondered why they made such a big deal out of arresting Steve, this is why.
I was so shocked by what I saw, I immediately took it to a source in one of the most important, highest level investigative federal agencies in the country. And I said, you have to see this. After they looked at it for about 2 hours, the response that I got back was, holy F, she's one of us.
And when you find out the position, this now will implicate so many people at the highest levels. What's your confidence level in this story?
I can give you forensic estimates, the analysis of the hoodied bomber on the evening of November 5th compared to the gait analysis of this individual in private life and at work. The actual software hit at a 94% accuracy. Then human analysis from the experts in intelligence is much higher. They looked at it and went, my God, that's it. You've got it.
In a world not gone mad.
So we're learning the potential identity of this J6 pipe bomber. I guess the person who laid the pipe bomb. Take a look at this this graphic here. They're saying former, and this is again courtesy of Blaze Media, former Capitol Police officer is a forensic match for the January 6th pipe bomber, sources say. Inside job much?
Yeah, they also have. Go ahead. No.
Rock, paper, scissors, go.
You go.
Who was in charge of the Capitol Police on January 6th? Who? Nancy Pelosi? Is that why she's retiring?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure. But retiring doesn't mean that you're exempt from prosecution, ma'am. Just be aware. But there's also video of this woman standing on during the J6 riots, shooting into the crowd to start the uproar.
Because there's nothing that would stir a peaceful gathering of people than being shot with rubber bullets and tear gas and watching people next to you who are in their 70s drop of a heart attack, and you try to give them first aid and you're the one that's pulled off and apprehended, and then people trample over. Listen, you get people, any people in a group, and stir up that kind of strife. And I know that was a part of the plan. That's why Nancy Pelosi rejected Donald Trump's call to have the National Guard there. But we're dissecting it even further. They had news media and in cooperation with social media that pulled Donald Trump's platform on X, at the time Twitter, pulled it down so you couldn't see his entire speech from the Capitol that day, where he talks about peacefully walking to the Capitol. This is now coming on the heads of the BBC Director General, his name's Tim Davie, and the CEO of the newsroom, Deborah Turnez. They are being forced to resign after they have been caught doctoring the full speech of Donald Trump. They cut out something like 52 minutes of it to make it sound like rhetoric. Take a look at this. Let's go with the doctored video from MAGA Voice. Sorry.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Wow.
They cut out 52 minutes of his speech to make it look largely like he was inciting an insurrection.
Yep. He should sue them, and then we should push for the repeal of the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. For more information on that, you can go to thehollowalliance.com. You can also go to openmicladies.com and find where you can participate in this call to action. Please do so that we no longer have to deal with this crap on our news cycles. Thank you.
Anymore. We don't want it anymore. Absolutely. Thank you, Aly. You know, we're going to have the biggest party ever when that thing gets repealed. It's going to be pretty amazing. Those of you that tuned into Sunday Night Football saw the best, most amazing flyover ever. Let's see if we've got that queued up. The flyover of Air Force One.
Oh, so epic.
That scares me a little. He flew that low over the stadium. Oh my God.
That was so epic. But you know what made me mad?
What?
He was swearing in troops at that game, and there were people that were booing. I'm sorry.
Well, that's why Washington's team largely sucks.
Well, they did lose 44.
They did lose. And I'm not much of a Lions fan, for the record, because they're in the same division as the Bears. But I'm just going to say on that night,
it was definitely the Lions.
For some Lions.
Definitely.
Oh, did you see the celebration in the end zone by the Detroit Lions? Take a look.
I did not. Show me.
Take a look.
Love it. Oh, I love it.
That is wide receiver Non-Ra St. Brown. That is him. And and I can hardly stand the Sunday night or Monday night announcers, courtesy of my dad. May he rest in peace. But we just can't. I can't stand most of them. Chris Collins is just, I don't know. He's kind of bugs me. But take a look at who was in the booth giving commentary.
But we had a good time, and I loved it. I actually love playing football. We had a good time with it.
So we were trying to look up your stats, and we wanted to know how many touchdowns did you have back then?
Oh,
6,
is that right?
7?
I'm not sure I had any.
We can bring it back, Krista.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
I'm not
so
sure I had
awesome.
any.
Military Academy. There you go, President Trump.
Well, Aly,
he's doing so well in offense.
Because he understands it a little bit, unlike the Bears' offensive line. So tomorrow is Veterans Day, and so people like our beloved Aly, we have to make sure that we remember the sacrifice and the price that so many have paid. None do this better than General Michael Flynn. He was yesterday. They hit the Veterans Day parade in Washington, D.C. Take a quick look. We can bring it back, Krista. That's pretty amazing.
All of our friends are there. He was the grand marshal of the event. The event is privately put on. It's not done by taxpayer dollars. It is an amazing parade. Although the turnout was pretty low, there were lots of children in the audience. Antifa showed up to protest the parade, which why? And he was like throwing the peace sign and like waving at them. It was great. And then he wrote on a napkin, he said that he is anti-Antifa. And it was really funny. It
That's
was really,
pretty amazing.
Really
Listen, General Flynn is, this is the reason why him and Trump get along so well. He's got a fighting spirit. That whole family does. And you almost have to when you're a Flynn, right? Fight like a Flynn. But Mike Pence apparently came out and hinted that he's considering a 2028 run for president to overcome, us crazies that are called MAGA. General Michael Flynn did not flinch at all. He posted this. If he's running, I'm running. What say you, Mike Pence?
Wow.
I don't know. That would make it interesting, ma'am.
It would make it pretty interesting.
Mike Pence played a bigger role than you and I know, than we realized, not only in the certification of the 2020 election, when the right thing to do would have been to question and allow the states to call into question, which we're now finding out over and over again. These practices are put in place for checks and balances. We expect our financial institutions to have these checks and balances. There's no difference with the federal government, and he largely dropped the ball. Some say purposely. I'll leave that up to God to determine that. But don't want to see him on a 2028 ticket. Just saying.
Definitely not. But I do think it would be a perfect opportunity for them to be what are those debates where they can talk about it on a national platform.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure it would end up being a conceded, like whoever, because, the Republic, obviously it wouldn't be Pence, but Flynn would, obviously concede to Vance if Vance was higher with like polls and like things like that. But
yeah,
I think it's a perfect opportunity for a debate between the two of them. I want to see that anyway.
Some of the best presidents we've ever had in this country have been former generals.
Yep. And this is why veterans, it is so important for us to get politically involved, because we need to make sure that we don't have suits making decisions for boots on the ground. This is why Pete Hegseth is the perfect Secretary of War, because he's been there, done that. He knows. And he doesn't want people that have never served to not, to make decisions for people that do. It just doesn't make sense that way.
That's right. So I would urge our viewers, Aly, as we go into Veterans Day tomorrow, first of all, make sure you please keep all of your veterans and your active duty members of the military, keep them all in your prayers, and their families, because the whole family serves. But as Aly is always quick to point out here on this show, and even in her personal life when she's out and about, there is something that you can do. I always say, listen, I didn't serve. That wasn't an avenue that I chose, but people in my family have. So lots of times what we do, whether it's by being actively engaged politically or some of the hits that we take for our mouth running the way we do, feels like a step of service. So there is something that our viewers out there can do. And Aly, just in the last minute or so that we have, maybe you can help inspire them, to give them some direction. As somebody who's laced up her boots, literally, how can our viewers lace up their boots to help?
Yeah, just be the sharpest tip of the spear in your circle of influence. Spread the word, spread the message about what is truly going on. Break it down in a way that your friends and family can understand, and then encourage them to go call their representatives. Build relationships with them. This is the perfect time. Send your representatives from your school board all the way up to your congressional member a holiday card. Introduce yourself to them. Get to know them. And then call them. Build that relationship. Let them know that they're doing a good job. Let them know that you thank them for their service, because it is service. But then also plug in locally so that you know what is going on in your circle of influence, your backyard, so that you can move the needle.
Absolutely, guys. And I'll tell you this, as you dig in and as you get involved, whether it's with your local party or just the call to actions that we plant here, don't crumble at every roadblock that you hit, because it's just like life. You have to keep going. The reward at the end is that we have something really, truly remarkable to pass on to our children and grandchildren, and that's what the fight is for. So, guys, so thank you so much for joining Open Mic. Thank you for putting up with Aly and I sometimes. If you're not following us on social media, you are missing out. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Open Mic Ladies. And Aly, we will see you tomorrow. I'll actually see you later today, if I'm being honest. Thank you, guys. Keep that mic open.
Red glasses high.